Buffalo is the city of no illusions.
But that doesn't mean everyone knows the truth about it.
In the summer of 2011, a film crew from the National Trust for Historic Preservation hit the streets of the Nickel City.
Their goal? To let Buffalonians tell the story of their city, its past, and its future like only they can.
And like only they know.
These are their words, their experiences, their ideas.
This is Buffalo Unscripted.
What gives me hope for Buffalo? Well, I never lost hope from Buffalo. I moved back here in 1981 and I loved living here ever since.
I moved here when I went to college, and all those people who said, oh, it's not like the 50s and 60s when we had double the population, they didn't come in the 90s and see everything improve year after year. So things are really getting better, I think.
There is a lot of really wonderful things happening in the city, a lot of momentum. I think the National Trust for Historic Preservation coming to Buffalo is symbolic of that, but despite our modest population loss, we are growing wealthier, more beautiful, and more valuable, even smarter.
15 years ago on the street where I live, there were, on every block, there seemed to be maybe 2 or 3 properties that you thought were going to go the wrong way. And in the last 15 years, every one of them has seen investment, new roofs, new porches, gardens. And so all those qualitative measures give me a tremendous amount of hope for the future.
As a person that's worked in real estate for a long time, a lot of my clients were people that had gone to school and lived other places that come back here to raise a family, because it is such a great place to raise a family. And so, yeah, Buffalo really has a lot of hope for the future, and it rests in the people that are coming back and realize the value of it.
And what's nice is, as my career has expanded outside of Buffalo, even as I do work internationally, being in Buffalo is not a detriment. If anything, it's a huge strength. It affords me better cost of living. It gives me a nice community feel, nearby family and friends. That's just a really good platform from which to work.
I have hope for Buffalo. I had to because I bought 2 commercial buildings here, and I had no choice but to hope. And so when you have no choice, you push forward. And optimism is sort of catchy. Even though I've had a lot of people that told me I was crazy, I just ignored it. It's, and it's kind of fun to do what isn't the norm. And in that way, and seeing what's developed on the street in the last 5 years, it gives me complete hope, because it's creating a whole neighborhood that's waking up again. So in that sense, extreme hope.
I absolutely have hope for the city of Buffalo. I work in the preservation industry. I work in buildings such as this, both big and small, and every project just brings new hope for what is possible in the city of Buffalo.
It's nice because the rest of the country is beginning to catch on. We've been talking about historic preservation here for a very long time, and I think the rest of the country is beginning to appreciate that, not in a big, grand, glamorous renovation, historic, Georgetown, name all the other big historic places, but in the Buffalo way, where your own small town, the little park that you live on is historic, and we appreciate it.
What gives me hope for Buffalo is its community and its culture. People love Buffalo. Native Buffalonians, even if they do move away, they love Buffalo, and they'll continue to come back, and people will continue to be excited about Buffalo.
It's the best kept secret in the country. If you like community, if you like people, if you like parties, if you like festivals, if you like winter, we celebrate our winter. We just don't tell anybody.
They're fun. They have fun. It's like the 60s all over again here. They turn TVs off. They don't sit staring at the news and locking their doors afterward. They go out and they live the city as it was built to be lived in.
I think, Buffalo's had its challenges, and it continues to, just like any urban city. But I think the pendulum swings but so much. And there's got to be a great deal of synergy, and I see so many different people getting together in different neighborhoods and across the city, and it's going to be swinging back, and we just have to be ready, ready in how we just believe in this city, ready in terms of how we relate to our neighbors, just really finding our assets and our strength.
10, 15 years ago, I think one of the great pastimes in Buffalo was to sit around a table and with a bucket of wings and a Jenny Light or a Canadian beer and kvetch about Buffalo and why don't they do this and why don't they do that. And now one of our favorite pastimes is to do just about the same thing and then get up and say, okay, let's do something.
Buffalo is a place that has pride and it's creative and looks for solutions to problems. People in Buffalo don't just think about the problems and talk about them and complain about them. We look for solutions and then we go after them.
All kinds of different groups are working together to protect things that mean something to them, whether it's a church congregation that's threatened with its church closing, whether it's people who just love a certain building because they walk by it every day, whether it's people who support the parks, anything like that. I do feel like it's mostly the people that are the greatest asset and will help Buffalo out in the future.
Everyone you meet has something that they're really involved in or interested in, and it runs the gamut. And those people working for what they love and what they want is what gives me hope.
In a weird way, I almost feel like a female John Waters of Buffalo, and just I will do anything I can. I love every single person, you know, no matter what sort of walk of life, from you're the suburbs or from the fruit belt, you know, I can manage to keep a conversation with anybody, and I think most Buffalonians are the same way.
This city has turned itself around. It's just that that's not the message that's being told yet to the larger audience, and we're not telling our own story as well as we should. We're still stuck on a lot of those same old tired cliches, and we're doing our best to try and reinvent ourselves and then tell the new story.
I think that, you know, it's going to take some time, but I think that we could be great. We need to, you know, trust that we can do it and get on our feet and go. We have the people power. We can do it.
I have great hopes for Buffalo, and I know that I have more than hopes, because I know that Buffalo's going to come back very strong. It's a beautiful city, and the people, the people are so wonderful that you can't keep good people down.
I know from covering stories out of town myself as a reporter, you go into a city, you get in the cab, you drive downtown, you do the story, and you leave. And then you write about the city like you know the place. Well, these people who come here and make ignorant comments don't know the place. You're starting to see a lot more stories in the press and in magazines and on TV about, hey, this place is all right. Well, all I say is, where have you been all my life? Because I've realized this since I came here.
If you didn't have hope, what would I be doing here? If I didn't believe that this could be a great place, or it still is a great place, I wouldn't stick around. I would have ran a long time ago. I would have never come back when I went to school. It would have been all over.
Oh, what gives me hope for Buffalo? One, because it ain't dead yet. And it's very much alive. And the generation of young people, I mean the 20, 30, and 40-year-olds in our community got it going on. They are energized, they believe in themselves, and they believe in the community.
I think hope isn't even in the vocabulary. It is. It is. We will. That's my words. Those are my words. That's my language. We will. We will be grand. We will be great. We are great. Hope is not part of the language.
I wouldn't even say it's hope, because hope is such a dead word. Hope is something that you're just like sitting there, not doing anything, hoping. I don't hope for Buffalo's future. I change it. I make Buffalo's future, just like every customer that comes in here. It's like every person who's watching this. You're the ones who change Buffalo's future, and we do it right now, and we are. And it's amazing, and it's just getting started.
The National Trust for Historic Preservation, a privately funded nonprofit organization, works to save America's historic places. Learn more about our work in your community and in communities across the country by liking the National Trust on Facebook.